Randy, everybody, coming at you from out in the wilderness. I have a lot of stuff to show you in this video. We're going to cook up some really good clam chowder that I'm going to try. And there's a book a friend of mine wrote that we're going to talk about. But first we got to load up the old bicycle. And this is some really cool stuff that is going to help me in the future on this bicycle. You may or may not be getting sick of the bicycle stuff, but I think you're going to like this. This is pretty cool. And then I got to talk about an axe, and I think that might be all. So anyway, let's load this bike up and hit the trail, all right? People that are familiar with my videos probably know this bike. This is the bike, the original bike that I built that would carry the trailer. It comes on this pivot and this pivot. Well, I got to thinking to myself, is there a chance that I could use this framework somehow, some way, without the trailer? Because, you know, this is the bike with the giant sprocket. It's geared just right for hill climbing and trails and stuff. That, and there's no fender here. So that's where this little jewel comes in. This is a very weird looking piece of gear. It has Velcro straps on one side. It's got loops on the other side. It's got a large loop on one side, and then it's got a little plastic piece on here. Now the underneath of it is waterproof, because I've been tossing around the idea, like everybody was saying, you really need a fender for this thing. And so instead of metal, I tossed the idea around and I came up with this. And I'm gonna show you how it works and what these other little doodads do. So the way this thing works, the way this works is this loop goes around the seat, just like that. It sits down right there on the bottom. And then this little plastic piece slides right over the peg. All right, now what that does, like I said, the underneath of that thing is waterproof, a heavy waterproof vinyl. And so whatever mud gets kicked up here won't get on whatever's packed here. Now, this axe is too big to carry as backpack style. So I thought I wanted to carry it on a bicycle. So what I'm going to do here is this thing slides in through the loops, just like that, and then it hangs over the side. Now you may say that pulls over, but there's a cure for that. You just pull these open like this. And this is an ultra rare Sodco bow saw made in Denmark. When I got it, it had the original blue paint on it, original sticker. I kind of hated to remove it, but I wanted it to match the bike. So it's a bow saw with a blade cover and a little thing here. And the way this thing does is you just slide it on here. Let's see, it goes about right there. And then you just Velcro it on, just like that. Isn't that cool? And so see, now it's counterbalanced a little bit better, because you got the saw on one side and you got the axe on the other side. And now we'll put a pack right on top right here. I have a variety of my bungee cords that I always use. So what I do here now is I got a Hidden Woodsman pack right here. It's got everything I'm going to need for this little excursion. I'll just clamp these together. So then I'm going to lay this right on there like that. All right. Let's put a couple straps on here. And it goes, let's see, where do we want to go? Let's go through the saw and through the axe, just like that. And then we're going to go under the straps. Now we got to give it a look. Make sure, yeah, we're not touching the tire, so that's good. Now on the back here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to strap this. Let's see, let's strap it here and here. All right, that ought to get it. Now it's starting to lean over a little bit, but I think I'm going to be able to ride it. Let's see if I can ride it around. Now, this thing, I was afraid it was going to be too heavy on the backside, but it's not. It's absolutely perfect. The only thing that I've noticed is when you park and you have the kickstand up, the weight tends to make the whole bike fall over. And I've stopped and parked it twice and it fell over. But the cool thing is the pack didn't move. The saw didn't move, the axe didn't move, so I'm good to go on that. So I think we're going to go off into the woods over here and try to find us a place to cook our food. And then we're going to have other things to talk about. I think I decided that I'm not even going to mess with the kickstand now because of the weight back here. I'm just going to shove it against the tree. So it did good. So this bungee cord here, take that off. That kept the pack from sliding. I'm just going to lock that on for the trip home. Let's see. Let's take off this bottom one here. And just lay it in here. Take this one off. All right. Now I want to get a fire started first before we talk about that axe and that saw. Well, I'm going to have to use the axe. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I probably need the saw too. Now the saw, like I said, it's a Sodco saw. And this thing right here, what I did is this is a piece of PVC tubing. And what I do here is I just got a buckle I made with a strap. And all this is it's a piece of tubing that I have cut. You can probably see the color inside it. And I covered it with tape. And see, that protects my blade. Now, like I say, this is an ultra rare saw. They don't make it anymore. This is made in Denmark. Sears used to make one similar, but it was round tubing. And this is flat tubing. It's very comfortable. Anyway, that's that saw. And then there's the axe. This is a new axe. I'm going to talk about this after the fire's going. I think my little thing worked perfect. Alright, so let's look and see what's in this pack. And as usual, as always, you know how old Dave does things. Right in the top of the pack, I've always got me a little ground sheet. Of course, I brought a chair I'm going to try to put up, set up later. Alright, we have a little ground sheet here, and I'll probably drag it over to the side. We have a cup, canteen. I got a grill. Oh no, all my legs fell out. That ain't good. And I got a pot. Now, this is the star of the show. Tonys Clam Chowder. My friend, my best friend, Chris Cavanaugh, sent me this from California, and I've never seen it here in Georgia. But what this is I'm used to the clam chowder that you just dump into a container and warm it up. But this is like a condensed. You can see how it says on top, condensed. It's packed full of the goodness, the clams and things. And so you add, this is 15 ounces, and you add 15 ounces of half and half. Yes, the stuff you put in your coffee. Half milk, half creamer, 15 ounces. Dilutes it, makes almost a quart. So I've never tried this. This is going to be a first time thing. Look, caution, loaded with clams and loaded with flavor. I hope it is, because I love a good clam chowder, and I can't make it at home. So anyway, all right, we got some cooking stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this grill up. The legs already fell out of it, but I got this little tiny grill that I built. It should be just perfect for this one pot. But I'm going to clear a little spot out and set this grill up and then get a fire going so that we can do this. And then there's some other things I got to talk about in here. So I got my ground sheet. I got my ground sheet right here with all my stuff on it. And I'm going to put this little grill up here. I got a large spot here cleared out, and I'm not going to let this fire get out of control. It's going to be kind of a small fire because all I'm doing is warming things up. But see these legs right here going here. This is a homemade grill, and I got to noticing that there's a lot of vendors that are selling these things now. But I think it's funny. I made a video on making these grills like 11 or 12 years ago on my channel. So I think it's funny that they're just now catching on and making them and selling them. Well, actually, I think they're making them in China. All right, look at that. So we're gonna put that right there. See, I'm gonna be right here with the fire tending to it. There's my lid. All right, I'm gonna get some firewood, and we are going to mix us up some clam chowder. Good old Sodco with a brand new blade, nothing better. Just trying to make a few little shavings here because everything here's wet. All these leaves are wet. Once I light them with a lighter, I'll just start piling on all the small stuff. Let's see. Look, Bone Valley knife, made in Georgia. Isn't that awesome? Comes with a matching ferro rod. It even says Bone Valley on there. This thing's cool because it's one of the few knives I've ever seen that has straps like that, where you could strap it on your belt, or you could just remove this and wear it as a neck knife. Let's see what we got in here. Now let's see. Where's all the small stuff? That fire going my way. It's also going towards the camera. May need to move it. Oh, that'll give me time. That thing ought to die down the coals and it'll give me time. Let me move you over a little bit here. Alright, that's better. Alright. We're going to take the P38 here. Let's open up this can. Probably need to shake it up a little bit first. I hope this is delicious because I mean this is just a simple meal. You just pop open the can. Now a while back in a video, if y'all bothered watching the one, well actually there's two or three. I bought a Marvel's hatchet that was 1,000 grams, and well actually fast forward back 5 years, I bought these two boys axe handles, or either pack axe, camp axe, boys axe. It's in between a full size and a hatchet. They're generally around 24 to 30 inches long. But anyway, I bought them and didn't know what to do with them, but they're only $3 a piece, and I was like, man, I gotta have these. So I bought them, didn't know what to do with them, and then later on I seen a hatchet for sale for like $19. Couldn't believe it. It was a Marvel's. And so I was like, dang, that's 1,000 grams. That's heavy for a hatchet. So just on a gamble, I bought it, and I was like, I wonder how big the eye is. Will it fit on mine? And sure enough, it did. And so that was the axe that I used in that the video before last with me and Nick with the chopping. And man, these P38s take forever. So anyway, I wound up buying another one, and I was like, I'm gonna polish it. I'm gonna polish it and mount it on that other handle. Hope it dies down soon. We're supposed to have very, very, very heavy rain tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this today. So I can feel the heat from that. That fire would scorch this. Man, my leg is getting real hot. But anyway, I'm gonna show you that axe in a minute. All right, I'm almost there. Let's see what it looks like. Smells good. Big bird. All right, let's dump it out. Oh man, it's got kind of a tomato smell to it. Where'd my gray bag go? Here it is. Scoop that can out. Now in the instructions, it said to put in equal amount of half and half. So what we're going to do is we got, let's see right here what we got. Half and half. Let's mix that up. Pop her open. Pour it in. I'd say that's about the right amount. So let's pour it in. Yum. And yeah, it'll be dying down here in a minute. There ain't no way I would put this on there. There is no way I would put it on there with its flames like that. You would scorch it. And so all we're trying to do is warm it up. Let's pull you down here a little bit. I loosened it too much. All right, there's a half and half on top. Let's stir this up real good. Clam chowder. Yum, yum. I may just eat it right out of the bucket. All right, as soon as that dies down, we're gonna put it on the fire. Look, that can's a good place to put my spoon. Keep it nice and clean. Since I'm out here by myself, I may just eat with that spoon. Where'd my lid go? All right, now, let's look at this real quick. All right, the fire's kind of dying down a little bit. Maybe it'll be died down by the time I do this little segment. I'm also going to answer another question that someone had. Okay, this is the hatchet I was telling you about. I only paid, you can find this on eBay. I think it's a marble 655, I think that's what it is, but it's a 1,000-gram German hatchet. Marbles even makes a little sheath for it, but that thing is 1,000 grams. Okay, now if you buy this on eBay or like maybe Knife Country or something, I think it's between $36 and $39. The Smoky Mountain Knife Work had it for $19, which is just unheard of. So now here's the other handle. Now a lot of people don't like a handle this thin. I mean, this is thin, but this is why I like an axe. This is what it looks like polished. Isn't that beautiful? I sanded all the paint off of it and then spent hours polishing. And this thing is just, oh man, this is phenomenal. This is the perfect axe. I love this axe. And even better, now that I got two of them, I got this one will fit the bicycle. And then, you know, if Nick ever wants to use, or if my brother ever wants to use the other bicycle, we'll put the other axe. We'll have a matching set in there. And then this saw here, I got another one just like it. It's a Sears Craftsman, an old one with a brand new blade. But now, for the question, People have asked about when you hang an axe, what do I think about these little barrels? See this little barbed barrel for tightening them up? For me, when you have a brand new hang, do not use these, okay? Now this marbles came with a wedge and 2 little barrels, okay? This, I fit it as best as I could, and I only used a wedge. See on the end of it, the wedge? Now the reason you do that is you want a good tight fit. Glue it in. I use Gorilla Glue. Some people lube it up with boiled linseed oil, but I like the Gorilla Glue, because the thing is once you've put this, if you put in the wedge and 2 of these barrel things, if this gets loose, you're done. There's nothing you can do. But in my opinion, hang the axe, put in the wedge, and use it, and if it's last, that's great. If it doesn't, if it gets loose, then you can resort to driving into these little barrel wedges. Isn't that cool? All right, the fire is officially died down enough. And I hope I remember to bring my little piece of leather. Oh, I'm gonna have to look for it. Well, anyway, if not, I have to resort to a stick. Let's put that on there and let's warm it up now. And then we're gonna talk about something else. I better change batteries first though. I had to throw some more sticks on to kick the fire up because it just wasn't heating enough. It says when you get your first bubble, that's when you should take it off. Yeah, it's starting to warm up. All right, let's look at something here for a minute. I'll put on 1 more stick, just for good measure. 2 more sticks. Because if it gets too low, I have to start over. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh yeah, let's take a look. Now, a friend of mine, Randy Kemmerers, he contacted me. And first of all, I'm gonna say this. Whenever I'm wrong, I'll admit it. All right, and so I was wrong. How was I wrong? I always said that I hated nonfiction. No, I hated fiction and hated novels because you can't learn anything from them. They're purely for entertainment. Now, if I'm gonna spend time reading something, you know, I want it to be, I want to learn something from it. I want to get something out of it. So my friend Randy, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Randy Kemmerers. But anyway, he's been a long-time viewer of my channel. He contacted me on Instagram and he said, hey, I wrote a book. You want a copy? I'll either give you a copy of the hardback, the paper book, or audio book. I got both. And I said, what's it about? And he said, well, it's a novel. And I said, I don't read novels. I don't read anything that's fiction. I only read nonfiction. And he said, whoa, wait a minute. He said, this is a story, but there's a lot of survival information in it. And so he sent it to me and I read it and I loved it. Now, without giving away too much of this story, it's basically a young man that's in college and he winds up going into the forestry service for the summer, and he gets dropped off out into the wilderness, and then they leave him in the wilderness and they leave in a helicopter, and then they don't come back. And then he's got like a multiple month ordeal of trying to survive, and it's just, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. So Randy, you were right. It's a great book. I loved it. And Randy, if you're listening, in the back of this book there was a guy that's in charge of the Forest Service, I think, that was named Max Pearson. How did that happen? Did you dedicate that last name to me? If you're listening, answer in the comment section. So anyway, it's called Wild Heart. That's the name of the book. That was a great book. I enjoyed it. I probably put it on the shelf, and then 2 or 3 years from now I'll read it again. But it's real easy to read, and it's great. And it had, the ending was fantastic. And I don't know if this is Randy's first book or not, but honestly, I think this thing could be made into a movie. It's that good. All right, now let's take a peek at the clam chowder. Oh, and see how it's doing. Usually if the lid's getting a little hot, it's getting about ready. Now, I'm the only one eating this, so I'm gonna stick my finger in it. Yep. Whew. It's getting warm. Let's kick it up with what little bit of wood I got left here. To make sure it's nice and warm. I can't wait, and I can't film after dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. You can see all the little bits and pieces of clam in it. Wow. Oh, that is so good. And it's a little spicy. I'm not a big fan of spicy, but it's a little spicy. Ooh, look at that big chunk. I think that's a potato and a clam. Mmm. That is so good. Let it warm up just a little bit more. That was great. He sent me 3 cans, so now I gotta make a can for Nick. It's getting dark, and I'm gonna pack up what I can, and by the time I get it packed up, this thing should be done and ready to go. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the mods to the bike. I love my new axe. If you can find a saw like that at a yard sale, get it. That's a rare item. It's a good one too. I love the clam chowder. The book Wild Heart by Randy Kemmerers. It's a good book. So till next time, get out and enjoy life. Do things, experience life. Don't let life slip past you. And I had some very, 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 very wise words. Is don't let your past determine your future. Now, this is coming from a guy that did basically nothing with his life, and then when he got older, he did what he wanted to do and wound up being a mountaineer and a hiker and a camper, and like I said, did everything he wanted to do. Just because he was lazy and didn't do anything when he was young doesn't mean you can't do it when you get older. So anyway, take it easy, enjoy life, and we shall see you in the next one.